and welcome to the Virtual Business Owners Network on Friday, the 28th of November. And our guest presenter today is James McLaughlan, and he will be talking about AI strategy for SMEs, or SMEs, as I've heard it. Off you go, James.
That's perfect. Cheers, Alex. And just for people who maybe don't know me, because I know I'm quite new to the vBON, there's some new members here. My name's James. As Alex said, I'm the founder of a company called Icebreaker. We work with other SMEs to help them adopt AI with a human-centric focus. So there's been a lot of talks in the last few weeks with vBON around what different technologies out there for in the AI space for companies to adopt. But I think it's also valuable to look at the when, the how, and the why of adopting AI, not only what's available in the market. So the first thing to say is, and we touched on this earlier in the meeting, there's a lot of different reasons not to adopt AI, or people feel that it's not available to them as SME owners or founders. They might feel their business is too small. There's a bit of uncertainty, and oh well, we'll just wait until this is completely matured as a technology, and then we'll look into it. And as well, a big one is people don't know where to start. They don't have the time to look into it. Um, they feel it's not something that should be a major priority to them. But the reality is that the other people in the market in your industries are, even if they're just dipping the toe in the water, they're making steps and they're making inroads into AI, and that's going to start building them a competitive advantage. So what AI can actually do for you, it really for SMEs particularly, it boils down to three main things. It can save time. So if you have the same repetitive tasks, whether it's reporting, admin, content creation, whatever it may be, that can eat in, and I'm guilty of this as well, it can really eat into your daily and weekly schedules and take you away from value added activities and where you are best placed within your business. It can also, it's fantastic to be used for analyzing your existing data and helping you to improve decision making within your business, particularly anybody who's in the kind of e-commerce space. They have so much data running through their stores. It's impossible. It's a full-time job in and of itself to look after the data in the store. And by the time that you can gather insights, the data is then old and you're onto new sets of data, and it makes you more reactive than proactive, which is where AI can plug a bit of a gap. AI can also be used to help enhance performance of your team members. So the example I always use is if you hire somebody to do marketing, there's no point them spending 6 of their 8 hour day on admin work and small little internal tasks. How can you, as a business owner, help your team to really get back to the activities that you want them focused on, whether it's marketing, sales, finance, whatever it may be? Another big part of the why to adopt AI is strategy. So there's a lot of AI software coming out now, and it's got great bells and whistles and it looks amazing. But like anything, it has to align with your business strategy. There's no point looking at AI tools and saying, okay, this looks fantastic. Let's take this in and see where it can fit. You have to go at it the same way you would if you were hiring somebody. It's, where is there a gap in my business? Where are there bottlenecks? Are there processes that are too slow at the moment or really error prone or whatever it may be? And how can we find an AI system that we can implement into that section to help free up that process and work through it that way rather than, you know, we mentioned a few of them on the call earlier, but looking at new features have come out on, let's say, ChatGPT. Let's bring in ChatGPT. This looks fantastic. It's a lot more around your business strategy and your business goals and how can AI support them. So when is the next big question around AI? Because look, you're not going to be able to bring in AI overnight. It's a long-term process, not a click of a button and it's here. So when is your business ready for AI to come in? The main thing to look at is if you feel time poor but opportunity rich. So if you're running from pillar to post and it feels like you never have a moment's peace, and because of that, you're losing opportunities or turning down business because you're at your personal limit and your team's at their limit as to what they can produce, then potentially AI is something you need to look at for your business rather than if particularly if it makes more sense than hiring somebody, let's say, to help with those bottlenecks. AI is a stopgap that can help you boost your own productivity and your team's productivity. Repetitive processes is another one. Um, as a business owner myself, I'd be the first to say it. There's a lot of repetitive processes I do every week. They're not necessarily bringing money into my business, but they're necessary things that I need to do. AI can come in and it's helped me certainly to free up some of my time to drive back into sales and drive back into generating revenue for the business. But the other thing to be conscious of is that, as I said, AI is not going to come in overnight. You need to have a willingness to change. It's not just a tool, it's something that's going to change the way you work, but also you need to be willing to put time and effort into developing the AI once it comes in. It's not going to be perfect on day one, both in terms of the software itself and also how you use it. It's a learning process, it's a learning curve, and it's going to take a bit of time to get used to a big change because at the end of the day, bringing AI into your business, it is a large change to how you work. So then it's how do you bring AI into your business? As I mentioned at the start of the presentation, we focus on human-centric AI. We're not here to, shove teams out the window and say AI is here to take over. It's a lot more about how can AI be used as an assistant to yourself and also your staff to help them improve their performance and also their morale. So generally a good way to start with AI is to look at your internal processes from the get-go. Map out your processes, see where there are bottlenecks. I'm sure most of you as business owners on the call would have a rough idea, at least of one kind of process or system you have in place that is giving you grief. And it's important to map that out and look at, okay, what specific part of this is causing grief? And is there somewhere that we could put AI or automation into the process in order to, grease the wheels and speed things up? The next step then is to prioritize. You might have 6 or 7 maybe problem areas, let's say, that you would like AI to focus at, but there's no point trying to do everything all at once. It's a long-term thing, not a short-term thing. So prioritize where you'd like AI to come in. Look at where it's going to have the highest impact and the lowest risk and implement there. From there, you can see, okay, implementing it in this way has worked really well, but maybe the training wasn't so good on my staff. So that's something to look at for the next time we're implementing AI, and you can continuously improve your process for adopting new technology. And then the final step then is to implement the software, and training is a huge one. Um, you know, because AI appears so intelligent anyway, people dive headfirst into using software and they don't stop and slow down about how to actually get the most out of the software that's in front of them. Sometimes you might feel you're at 100%, particularly, large language models is the one I see a lot where people feel they're getting the most they can out of it. And in reality, there's a lot more space available for growth. Um, Looking into the software that you're using and how to actually get the most out of it and get the best responses possible is really crucial because, look, AI can be confidently wrong. And if you don't set up your software, your systems in the right way, you're going to get more incorrect answers, shall we say. So then on the final how, because I know we touched on this a few times, and I know there's a few questions asked before around the risks of AI and the general fears and so in some cases misconceptions that might be around it. Data privacy is a huge one. When you're bringing in AI, there's different things you can do to protect your data when you're using AI, and that'll vary from business to business what level of privacy or security that you need. I don't think there's any lawyers in the room today, but I know there's a few accountants. So obviously your data is very, very sensitive. So that might be something where you look at privately hosting your AI models on a private cloud rather than using them on a a generic cloud or a public cloud by just purchasing a subscription. Whereas some other smaller businesses where data, look, all data is sensitive, but it's less sensitive, um, they might be okay with just using the cloud that the software is already based on. Accuracy as well. As I said, AI could be confidently correct. It can also be confidently incorrect. And having a human in the loop on AI processes is really important because, look, AI can come back to you and write you a big long essay about how the sky is green and the grass is blue. Um, Having a human in the loop can look at that and say, well, hang on, that actually doesn't sound completely correct, and check those processes. And change management is the last thing. There's a lot of fear from people, and I can completely understand why that AI is here to replace and AI is here to take over. But by involving your team early in the process and making it clear about the reasons why you're bringing in AI, that it's not to replace or to cut costs or whatever it may be, it's actually to improve what's already there and who's already there. Um, you can build trust within your team for the system you're bringing in. So look, I kept it short and sweet for today. That brings me to the end. More than welcome if anybody wants to shoot over any questions or has anything they want to say. Thanks a million.
Thank you very much, James, and I'll open it to questions in just a second.